allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you for coming out today on this crazy weather day. Hope you'll be better by the time you leave. Let's see here. Let's go right down to the standard items here. The approval of the March 19th minutes, please.
Motion. I'll second it.
Who said that, Pat?
Yeah.
Pat and Adrian. All in favor?
Aye.
All set? Okay. First, authorize the town board to town council to award and sign proposal provided from Barrett Paving Materials for the terminal access road rehabilitation project.
I'll make that motion.
Hey, Ray?
I'll second it.
Adrian seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Authorizing the town council to approve adding Sean Lynch as deputy town clerk and Jody Bigney, second deputy clerk, as co-signers to the NBT bank account.
Motion.
That's with Pat. And
I'll second that.
Second by Ray. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Authorize the town board to authorize, town council authorize town supervisor to sign the town contract documents for Dow Electric for construction of the sand storage building, the airport.
Motion.
Okay, Pat.
And I'll second that.
Ray seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Authorize the town council to authorize the town supervisor to approve the final grant application for the rehabilitate terminal access road. We've been every month here. Okay.
Yeah,
Motions.
I'll make that
Okay,
motion.
Ray, a second.
I'll second.
And Pat, all in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Authorize the town council's approval of CNS engineering cost plus fixed fee consultant agreement for construction observation and administration of the terminal access road rehabilitation project at the airport.
Motion.
Pat, and a second.
Second.
Ray, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Authorize the town council to authorize the supervisor to sign the installment purchase contract with KS State Bank for the financing of the 2024 CAT roller, the track loader, the excavator for the highway department.
Motion.
That's Pat.
I'll
and
second that.
Adrian, got it, and all in favor?
Aye.
Great. Approval of the town council to authorize the highway superintendent to hire the motor equipment operator candidate pending the outcome of the town drug and alcohol screening policy.
I'll motion.
Pat, and second.
I'll second it.
Okay, and then all the interviews were last week.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Approval by the town council to provide the incurrence of indebtedness for the purpose of providing a portion of the cost of acquiring, constructing, enlarging, improving, or extending the new water district, the amount of $3 million. Eric, would you like to speak to that, please?
Yeah, so listen, what they're looking for, into the way they had it broken down, and you and I spoke yesterday, I had a bit of a misunderstanding of what they actually wanted.
Mhm.
So part of the South Racket project is, of course, the rural development grant, and they need to do bonding that coincides with that. That bonding will be taken out at the end of the day by the Environmental Facilities Corporation, but you have to have the rural development bonds to get the grant, okay? So, you know, it's all part of that financing process.
It was like a $9 million deal, of which $6 million was grant and $3 million was gonna have to be borrowed, and that's all covered by the cost associated with the water, right?
Exactly. But rural development requires this form.
What's the timeline for this, getting this money, et cetera?
Well,
How does that work?
the way rural development works is they won't do it until the project is complete, right? So their funding will come, it'll happen in conjunction with EFC, but the idea is we'll have interim financing from the Environmental Facilities Corp.
Okay.
And then the rural development grant and loans will come in once the project is complete, and as all of the administrative stuff is finalized, EFC will come in, take out the rural development grant or loans,
Okay.
and we'll have the rural development grant and EFC funding.
Okay.
It's,
So, I mean, if they start this project this year, which we hope they do,
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and so the idea is that, you know, we did that scramble to make sure that we had the environmental facilities court, the FC funding
yeah,
done, ready, and as far as I know, I think, when we've been corresponding with Ashton from the FC, it looks like we're in pretty good shape. But they wanna have the, assuming that's gonna close sometime in May or June, we'll be able to get the project out to bid.
Okay, that's the key right now, getting the project out to bid, because every minute we go longer and longer, the price is gonna go this way.
Right, but to do that, to guarantee that we have the rural development funding, okay, we have to have the rural development criteria met before we go out to bid.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what, you know, this is that standard, and this is a resolution.
Brenda and I have been getting about 10 emails a day
Yeah,
from this guy. So
Well,
it's
you know they've
very,
been copied,
it's very
right?
confusing, oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So this resolution that you're being asked to adopt is, it's a standard requirement for rural development funding, all right? And really, the way I like to think about it is it's just a restatement of what was in the bond resolution. It's part of the funding source, you're gonna take the loan and the grant from rural development as part of doing the project.
I'm trying to
No
think,
big deal.
Brenda, the last email we got, do you have any questions though? He sent something else this afternoon too.
Yeah, Marissa sent some additional requests, but they have to do with what rural development wants. And just before the board meeting, she sent another one saying, listen, I didn't mean to make you panic. This is for prior to bid. You don't need to worry about it tonight. Because there was a whole bunch of it that just wasn't going to be complete tonight.
So those items will probably be on the May agenda then?
Mayor, yep.
Oh, God.
Yep.
All right, okay, so for this one, we can go ahead and approve this little part right here?
Yes, right, and the resolution that gets incorporated into the minutes.
It just seems a little funny that the fact is we've already approved all
I
this
know.
stuff before.
Oh, this goes to Jody.
But if that's what they need, I'll make a motion to
Yeah,
accept
Pat,
it.
it's standard.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have Pat, and then we have Adrian, and then now do we have all in favor? Any other questions? Any other questions for Eric? Now's the time, guys.
Explained pretty well.
Okay, yeah, because I can't believe his emails the last 2 days especially. What is going on?
I've seen them all.
Oh, my God. Okay, next, approve a town council to hire 3 summer help employees pending the drug alcohol screening policy.
I'll make that motion.
Yes, Ray, and second,
I'll second it.
Adrian, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Transfers and amendments, please.
I'll make a motion that we accept the transfer amendments.
And I'll second that.
And Ray seconded, you put positive date, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So the warrants,
I'll make the motion, we accept the warrants.
Ray
I'll second it.
and Adrian,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Brenda, go ahead.
So, this year, as of today, our total revenue is $4,650,825. And in 2024, around this time, our total revenue was $3,943,789. So our 2025 revenue is $707,036 more than April of '24. In 2025 for our expenses as of today, our expenses are $3,241,817. And in '24, our expenses were $2,569,576. So our 2025 expenses are $672,241 more than April of '24.
So more and more, okay. Anybody have any questions for Brenda? Thank you, Brenda. Okay, let's go to our committee reports, please. Town highway.
For the highway department, we plowed 5 times. We received the new Caterpillar equipment. We have ended shift work and are on summer hours, getting ready switching gears from snow removal to summer road maintenance, for equipment repairs. We repaired Unit 51's transmission line, replaced, Unit 52 power steering. We have serviced and inspected all summer equipment. We received Unit 49 back from International for electrical repairs. For Massena Airport, boutique air numbers were 410 emplaned, 432 deplaned, for 842 total. There was 186 landings with one cancellation due to weather. They plowed 5 times as well. They are servicing mowing equipment and switching gears. Construction has started on the sand storage facility, and the employees are currently going for their yearly aircraft firefighting and rescue training. For the library, museum, and town hall, there are no new issues.
Okay, I noticed an awful lot of bills we had for repairs.
It-
They're eating up a lot of the budget.
Yes, as we wind down from the winter season, there's repairs that we push off because we don't want trucks down in the middle of winter. And we start off with the summer equipment. There's a lot of servicing and
Okay, joint recreation.
Joint recreation met on Tuesday, April 8th at 3 o'clock. They had a Arch House League that actually ended on April 8th, was a success. The lacrosse signups, they had 118 kids sign up, and there's a late registration. They have up to 3 weeks to sign up, according to the rec director. And they're gonna be doing an indoor lacrosse at Trinity up in the gym for people that are interested. We'll talk to Mike McCabe on that. The ice class tournament, the adult, where they had 5 teams, that was a 3-day tournament, that was a success. The park boards that we spoke about before, which the Unity for Massena boards, they were gonna be putting up those, like the, kinda like the informational boards at Alcoa Field and other parks, is not gonna happen anymore because they lost the funding, so they're not gonna be doing that. And they're also gonna have an indoor lacrosse starting on May 11th. Akwesasne Storm Organization has rented the ice. And that will start, I guess it's gonna go for a few months. The next meeting's gonna be May 13th.
And tomorrow library, please.
Library met on April 8th at 4:15. The usage report was 4,192 for total circulation. It was up from March. The visit report was 4,907. That was up 600 from March. They adopted a new volunteer policy, which was voted on and passed. In the grant aspect, I didn't list them all, but there's still no decision on the bus shelter that they're put a grant in for. They're just waiting for an answer. They got $800 for, I believe it was a Stewart's Holiday Match Grant. It was awarded, it was $800. It was for summer reading. And they also are gonna have on April 22nd at 11:45, they're gonna have their very first memory cafe. Again, that's gonna be Tuesday, April 22nd, 11:45 a.m. right at the library. And the next meeting is gonna be May 13th.
And you want to announce when National Library Week is?
I would, but I
It's
didn't write it
April
down.
28th to May 3rd.
I got you, Adrian.
All right. Thanks.
April 28th to May 3rd. You'll hear more particular after.
Okay.
All right, but yeah, you can make sure you get to the library that week. Town Museum.
We met on the 3rd from 4:30 to 4:50, on a short meeting. It Approve the minutes, we have 1 session, 0 dia sessions. 52 website hits, 24 visitors, January, 18 February. They're finalizing pictures and documents from Massena Electric. They completed their annual reports for the town. They're working on dia session articles from the storage building.
I was wondering about that, I'm glad you brought it up.
We cleaned out the display at the airport. And we're creating a museum brochure.
They're doing what?
They're creating a museum brochure.
Oh, well, that's a good idea. Good idea, yeah.
And we cleaned out the display at the airport, we're gonna get that ready for tourism.
Okay, good,
Next meeting will be May 1st at 4:30.
okay. As far as the chamber, the St. Louis County Chamber, they had their annual breakfast on the 15th, yesterday. There was also a meeting last Thursday held at the library for an ambassadorial program. And anybody interested here who, too big a crowd, but if you're interested in becoming an ambassador for the chamber, I brought extra pamphlets for signups and things like that. They've been talking about a Spring Fest, which would be April 20th, 27th, with a number of organizations getting involved, and hopefully we'll hear more about that. I was hoping that Benny's going to come in and explain it, but anyway. Business after hours again, May 27th with Gristmill, and the tourism dinner at the Freight House, August 1st, June 4th. And again, the property is for sale and listed at $98,000. So if you know of anybody looking for a good piece of property, good spot, get in touch with the St. Louis County Chamber so they can get going on their plans for downtown Massena. Okay, next, code officer. Not here. Okay, town planning or zoning.
Yes, we met on Thursday, March 27th, and there was a public hearing on the Verizon cell tower site project. There were lots of comments specifically about the project, but they were all discussed. And then seeker was a resolution to declare the negative declaration and review as passed. And then overall, then the review of the site plan for the Verizon cellular tower was approved.
So that's going
So
forward.
all that's moving forward now.
And this is electric.
The meeting was February 20th. Reviewing safety continues to be a lot of positives in regards to safety. There was discussion about a bucket truck accident, though. There was a truck that was in an accident, and they were having to have the insurance to work on all that specific pieces.
Did I hear you wrong? You said that's the February minutes, what about March?
Oh, March 20th.
Oh, okay.
I was reading the approval of the previous minutes.
Okay.
Okay, March 20th, yes. Work schedule, things are progressing nicely. Write-offs were $1,340, which is a small percentage. It's very good as far as people pay their bills, very good. And then they show us the power consumption graph, as we've been talking about. Again, it was higher than usual because of the cold weather that was in the previous month. And that power consumption graph, we have to buy more power as you get up there. And it crests over a certain level. And so that was all taken care of, discussed, and everything else. And, everything else was reviewed. Their cybersecurity plans continues to work on cybersecurity plan. The trees that need to be cut down continue to be cut down. The process continues on. The grants that are covering those trees. And NYSERDA project at 737 is in process. And infrastructure project is also in 5896. That's still a project in process.
I got one phone call relative to the trees, one complaint. Someone said we cut down the trees, but they left everything there. And I didn't know how to respond to that.
I don't know, because usually what they'll ask the person is on their property, do you want to keep the tree after they cut it down? Some people use it to burn or do something else with it. Otherwise, they've been taking them off or grinding them up and getting rid of them. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
unless it's in a rural area.
Okay.
That's And usually the meeting would be tomorrow, but now they've changed the meeting to Monday. Somebody had to be out of town.
Okay,
Right there.
Jason Hendricks. Oh, I saw the end of this. Good.
Yeah, I made my way in,
Good.
just in the nick of time.
Good.
Busy month, so on the Massena government website, me and Brenda met with Civic Plus, to discuss, potential, getting ADA, accessibility onto the Massena.us website, as that's something that, is being talked about, what legislation may come down the pike, so we're just trying to get out ahead of that, what our options will be when that time does arrive.
Well, the time has arrived.
Yes, so we're on that. The other thing we did was, got a call from a rescue squad member to update their portion of the website.
Good.
So made some updates there. Sean, spoke with Sean, trying to secure that Massena.gov. Sean was successful in doing that, now we're just waiting that out. And then once that happens, we'll make sure all the web redirects are taken care of and
Yeah,
tidied up.
that's
what
another
we need.
good thing at one of the Association of Towns meetings that I have monthly, that's another thing that says all the towns in New York State have got to do that.
And then we also added some, in addition to what Sean did, added some more information to the dog licensing page with the complaint form
Good,
as well.
good. Okay.
Then, on the Fish Massena side, we got all the fishing events have been added over to we submitted them over to the St. Lawrence County Chamber's calendar of events as well. We got all the big bass blowout materials ready, the landing page. We revamped the registration form, Brenda and I walked through it, everything looks good there. And so that registration will launch on Friday, April 18th. We'll start collecting registrations for the big bass blowout. And on the Explore Massena side, we kept working on Rocking the River. We have our band secured, and we're just waiting. I got a way I want to roll it out. But there will be, there's going to be Let There Be Rock, I'll drop a little hint. Some of you already know where I'm heading with that. And then I met with North Country Co-location Services and Carly Olson over there, their new community engagement coordinator. And we had a great conversation. Sounds like they're ready to partner again for Rockin' the River sponsorships and whatnot. And then we got the vendor application form is ready. We're going to be sending that out next week. The sponsorship packages are done and ready to go. So we'll start soliciting those out this week. And then just more of the same. We got our sound productions already set. Talked with Mike McKay with the rec department. Beach is all set. So we're just knocking down the dominoes, getting set up for the summer.
Will you and/or Adrian be available to be in the radio next Wednesday morning?
I can be.
Yeah, right now I can be.
That'd be great. Yeah, bring up to date what's going on. Sure. Okay.
So, a lot of progress, and that's where we're at. And the other thing we talked to Dylan yesterday, he's got to put a real ID video out on a TV out at the airport. So I'm going to supply some additional materials with our scheduled events for the summer with branding, and also some videos as well to display on that TV
Okay,
for people going in and out of the airport.
Yeah, good. So again, yeah, add that through Wednesday. Okay, over to Don.
This last month has probably been one of the busiest that we've had in a long time. We've completed the last of our sport shows, and that was in Utica, and that was one of the best ones that we've done. I can say that for every one of them. This was a market that was different than all the other markets we've gone after. This is basically a close-by market. One of the things that, we had a woman come up to us there, she said, and this struck me because it really identifies the whole thing that we're trying to present. She came up and she didn't speak too much, and she says, yeah, we were talking about Massena, and she said, yeah, I came from Massena. She said, I didn't leave there too long ago. She said, I miss it terribly. And I asked her, I said, why? She says, it's just the people and the feeling of being up there. And I thought that was really poignant. And that's basically the whole message that we're trying to convey. You know, you spoke about the radio, and probably a lot of you don't know that every Monday for the last many years, every third Monday of the month, I go in and do a Massena spot with Donnie Despo. And so I'll be there Monday at 11:30. And we talk about everything about how Massena's progressed and so forth. The other thing I wanted to tell you is before we were on our journey home from Utica, we were getting calls from people that we had seen wanting to confirm that they could come up here this summer. It's going to be an unbelievably busy summer for us because we're doing the tournaments at the same time as we're preparing for these other families to come up here that'll be independent of the tournaments, and then trying to lock in plans for next winter. It's just, you know, nonstop it seems. The other thing I did want to tell you is that I got a call here a week ago from a guy in Kentucky. Apparently he's the new tournament director for the BFL tournament that is coming here in July.
July 12th.
Okay, July 12th. And he wanted to know all about, are the permits in place and so forth. And I've agreed to meet him. He's going to come up here the week of the tournament. They normally would come up and start setting up on Thursday. He's going to come up Tuesday. He asked if I could meet with him and give him a tour of Massena, and he could get a better feeling of just what to expect and what we do to help them do their tournaments. He says, I've heard from everybody that Massena is so cordial to help our company whenever we come up there, and so this is something that has came up from this. The other thing I did want to mention, Adrian's aware of this, is a year ago, as Jason knows, because he worked extensively on it with us, we brought this group from down south that has this church orientation, this band that they did. It's a national band, and they call it their fishing church. And they wanted to come up here again this year, and they have they made contact with the First Testament Church, and so they put it out to another group. And so, Adrian, you can explain better because you met with Lynn about this.
Right, basically the band came up last year, right, it was at Massena
Yeah.
Beach.
Yes.
Looking to do it at Springs Park this year and bring it inside the village. We thought that being inside the town would be more beneficial, one for the people that have businesses in town or whatever, but it also would keep it centered here so that other people would get a feel for what we have. We haven't really exposed the Racket River in any of our fishing tournaments or anything else really that we've done. We thought that that would be also a great way to show the Racket River and to show where there's access points and the possibility of a business coming to town and maybe relocating somewhere in that section of town. So last year, I don't remember the number of how many people were there, but I think it was quite a few.
It was a lot.
How many would you say?
About 100, I'd say about 100.
Yeah, so it's quite a few. So I believe with them teaming up with New Testament Church, it's going to be a lot more people.
Yeah, there's this other group, I think her name is Christy and James.
Lisa and James.
Lisa and James. They have their own church, and they've done different activities down in Pennsylvania and in New Hampshire. And they're sort of taking this on for the New Testament Church. And the reason that they wanted to have it in town is they want someplace for kids to be at the same time. But they claim that there's a number of churches throughout the area that are interested in coming. This is non-denominational.
Right.
And so they will be out trying to get funding for it. I think this is a great opportunity because I think it represents something that sets Massena apart from other places, that is willing to let an organization like this that's so popular down south come up here and be able to share their culture with us.
Plus all the guys that are in the band of professional fishermen,
Yes.
correct, Don? So they can,
And they
people
can,
want to meet some of the professional fishermen, they can go down to the park and meet all them.
yeah, and these guys that are part of the band are also, they give their talk to the people at the time of the event. about what fishing is meant in their life and so forth. So I think this is a real wonderful, an addition to the things that we do, of bringing something special up here. So I guess that's it for now.
Thanks, Tom.
And Linda, please.
Okay, in my report for this month, I have outlined the number of grant programs that have been closed out. We have both of the Market New York grants have been completed. The American Recovery Plan Act funds that paid for a portion of the 2024 sports show season, those have been, that paperwork and the final processing has been submitted to the St. Lawrence County IDA, and we're just waiting on the receipt of those funds. The state and local fiscal recovery fund, that program requires a report to be provided by April 30th. All of those funds have been used, and Brenda and I will work on completion of that, getting that in for their reporting deadline. And then finally, the Chamber of Commerce has monies available to pay for a portion of the 2025 sports show season, and so Brenda and I have that work in progress as well. So there'll be some funds coming in for the booth fees for those shows. And just to close out my report, I've also mentioned in my monthly submission to the board the videos that have been completed. And I'd like to just publicly recognize all of the guests that were part of this video series. We had Amy Stark with the St. Lawrence Seaway Visitor Center. We had Justin Cree from the Akwesasne Cultural Center. We had Kelsey Charter with the museum, he's the historian at the museum. We had Bill Fiacco with the Gristmill Brewery. And finally, we had Ms. Jane Malthorpe and Dr. Percy Cunanan, local residents of Massena, who provided their take on what it's like to live in Massena and how grateful they are to be here. So that's everything that I have.
Okay, thank you.
Those are the last of the films you needed to get, so.
Everything's done, everything's been submitted and accepted by Market New York.
Okay.
I know I've sent enough documents for getting them back from Chamber, so it should go through. All right, let me see here. Public comments? Kristen? Go ahead.
Thank you. All right, so to add to what Adrian spoke about, I just want to highlight some of the programs that we have coming up so that people can look into attending them. We've got pre-K musical story time with Gretchen Kohler tomorrow at 10 a.m. She does like folk dances and fun music for kids. We're pretty excited about that one. We have a youth gardening workshop with Cornell Cooperative Extension's Master Gardeners on the 19th at 10 a.m. We have an open mic poetry night for the St. Lawrence area poets on the 23rd at 5 p.m. And hydro-dipped decorated eggs with Chris Roselle on the 25th at 2 p.m. We have a sewing class. We're doing a spring table runner. It's a 3-part class. The first part will be on the 26th at 9:30. Lego Club continues on the 26th as well at 11:30. And our big thing is our Friends Library Week, which is at the end of this month. That is, as Sue said, the 28th through May 3rd. It starts with Patron Appreciation Day. We will have refreshments all day at the library for our patrons to show them how much we appreciate them. It's also a day of forgiveness. So normally it's fine forgiveness, but Massena Public Library is a fine-free library, so you do not accrue fines if you're overdue on your materials, but you do get charged if you damage or don't return something. So on that day, if you have a damaged or lost book, you can come in and just share your favorite library memory with us, and we're just going to wipe it away. It only works for Massena Public Library books, so if you lost a book from another library, we can't help you, but we can definitely forgive our own. Giving Day is the 29th, so So we're not doing a big fundraiser that day because we've decided to consolidate for our writing campaign in the fall. But we are going to take that day to highlight some of the ways that you can give back to the library, including PayPal, our Amazon wish list, the Friends, birthday gifts, memorials, bequeathments. Then we have on that Wednesday, the 30th, our Healthy Cooking on a Budget with Cornell Cooperative Extension and their SNAP Ed program. That's at 5:30. They are making black bean burgers, which doesn't sound great to me, but maybe they'll surprise us. Either way, you're going to learn something cool. Thursday, May 1st is Kids Day with special guests, Department of Public Works, who are bringing their big trucks in, and I should be, but I am not at all ashamed to tell you that I was excited, as excited as the kids are going to be when those big trucks come in, mostly because I get excited about how excited the kids are. I highly recommend you come check that out because the kids are just all over the place and they have so much fun and they're so excited about the big trucks, and if you're sensitive to loud noises, they do lay on the horns a lot. We actually invited our local state representatives to that as well. So Senator Stepp and Assemblyman Gray will be attending, and they will be reading books to the kids for the story time. It's a special story time. We also have a movie showing that day. We're going to be watching Desk Set. And if you've never heard of Desk Set, I discovered this movie back when I was going through a classic movies phase, and it's a Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy movie, all about a librarian getting really annoyed by a guy trying to bring computers into her library. So it's a lot of fun, and Katharine Hepburn is always wonderful. So I highly recommend that one. That's at 1 p.m. on Thursday the 1st. And then we have a sticker decorating workshop at 3 p.m. that same day. So it's mostly about kids and also about Katharine Hepburn. So Friday the 2nd is the drop-off day for anyone who wants to contribute to our book, bake, and plant sale. So if you have baked goods that you want to share for our bake sale, or if you have plants that you want to share for our plant sale, that's the day to bring them into the library. And we get a lot of donations of those things, and we are always thrilled for all of them. And then there is the main event, the book, bake, and plant sale on May 3rd, with our special guests being Massena Central School District Saxophone Quartet, the New Horizons Swing Band, and we've got a bunch of baskets to raffle off, including our extremely popular lottery basket.
What's the date for that?
That is the 3rd. Yep. So we open at 9:30, but if you are a member of the Friends, you get early access at 9 o'clock. So just show up and let us know, or you can show up with $5 in hand and get in.
And the legislators are going to be there on May 1st?
On May 1st for Kids Day.
What time are they going to be there?
About 10.
That's what it's this meeting might want to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to pick out some books for them to read, and
yeah, good.
I think they're going to be pretty awkward doing it, but they'll have fun and we'll have fun. So Adrian mentioned some of our statistics for the month of March, but to expand on that a bit, we had 77 programs in total, with a total of 717 participants. 218 of them were kids, 87 were teens. And for May, we are partnering with Together for Youth for Foster Care Awareness Month. They are looking to, I don't know if we're going to be able to fit them in May to do an information session, but if we can't, we're going to do it a little bit later. They have donated some purple yarn for our knitters group to knit something purple, because that's the color for foster care awareness, and our knitters group have decided that they're going to knit a bunch of various things to donate to the foster children. So that's been a pretty cool partnership that I'm really excited about. How can you not support people trying to find homes for foster kids? But the reason that we're so busy in May and might not have time to fit them in for an information session is we are doing our end of life series again in May. So unfortunately. So that's happening again in May. Other than that, I do want to highlight the Memory Cafe, as Adrian mentioned. Margarita Trotter is our volunteer to run this. We got all the supplies in, and I'm really excited about it. So you've probably heard me talk about it multiple times, but I'll say it again. The Memory Cafe is basically a support group for people with dementia or memory challenges and their caregivers, and it's basically just a group of people with similar experiences getting together and simple activities for them to do to stimulate cognitive functions and memories. And all the reviews on such programs are that they are really great at bringing people with dementia out of their shells and making them more sociable and present. So again, how can you not want to do that? So I'm pretty excited about that. And I think that's about it.
Krista,
Yes.
do you have a good participation in your Narcan program?
It's kind of an ongoing thing. So we do it every month, and people like stop through as they're going. So it's not super high, but there's always a few people cycling in each month.
Well, that's very important for our community.
It is very important for our community. As a matter of fact, after discussing that program at the Monday Luncheon Club at Morley's, the Brazier County legislator, John Jeanette, came to me and told me that he is going to try to get some Narcan to keep on hand at the library in case we ever have need of it or anyone else has need of it. So he's looking into that for us.
I see a need for our community there, though. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Anybody else, please? Eric?
Hi, Sue. Just to let you know, the Board of Assessment Review will be meeting on May 27th from 4 until 8 p.m. As per real property law. We've set out that it's our annual meeting date. Anybody with any questions on their assessment prior to that should be contacting Brittany Rushmo. And the notices of law and everything else. I believe the roll has been finalized, it has been submitted already,
Okay, you have it right here in this room, so,
right here in this room.
yeah, if you have not been to one of those sessions, it might be good. See how it works out.
I'm not here to drum up business.
Well, I've enjoyed attending your sessions. I found something always I've learned from them, so, yeah.
But that's when it is, I just got the information last Friday.
Okay. Good, all right, thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, so we need a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of discussions related to proposed pending or current litigation, medical, financial credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or related to appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or removal, and acquisition, lease, or sale of real property or securities when publicity will substantially affect the value. So motion to go into executive
I'll make
session.
a motion.
Ray, please. Okay, and second. Seconded by Adrian, all in favor? Okay. And let's see, 5:14. And thank you all very much for coming.